Okay, picking up from where we left off last time, I kind of left the circles for now. Piece of friendly advice, this is kind of tight on your paper. You may want to work these examples out on separate paper, okay? All right, so we kind of left off, we were done with everything from there and kind of up on your sheet. So we'll talk about finding center and radius. If they give it to you in center radius form, remember, X-rays help young kids recover. X-rays help young kids recover. Okay? That is a way that you can kind of remember what the center radius form of a circle is. So if you're given that in that form, that's pretty easy to find the center. The center is h comma k, so it's going to be -2 comma 4 for the center. And then the radius is actually equal to the square root of 5. There we go. Now from a graph, if nothing is labeled here, you have to assume it's going by 1. Be careful, in years past they've gone by 2s and stuff like that. So you have to make sure that you're getting everything correct depending on what they're giving you for a scale. Alright, so let's assuming these are all going by 1s. It looks to me like the center of that circle is at -3, 3. And the radius is just 3. There you go. From a graph, relatively straightforward. The only thing you have to be careful of is, like I said, if they're going by like 2s or 5s or something other than 1s on the axes. All right. General form of a circle is ax squared plus by squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. So if I want to take something from center radius form and turn it into general form, and this is where I was talking about maybe having a separate sheet of paper, you're going to FOIL both the x and the y, and then combine like terms and set it equal to 0. So if I have x minus 3 squared, that's really x minus 3 times x minus 3. And then plus y squared equals 16. Well, the y squared, we don't really need to FOIL that. That's a monomial. That was a y minus 0, right? So it's just going to be y squared. When I FOIL this one, I get x squared. It's going to wind up being minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared equals 16. And then I set it equal to 0. So I'm going to have x squared plus y squared minus 6x and minus, and then you do 9 minus 16, you get like a -7 equals 0. So there it is. There is the general form from the center radius. And more interestingly is taking the form from general to the center radius. All right? Instead of going from center radius to general like we just did, now we go general to center radius form. All right? What I want to do here is I want to regroup and complete the square for both the x and the y. Okay? So I'm taking this guy here and I'm going to regroup it. Basically when I say I regroup it, I'm going to put the x's together, the x squared plus the 4x, and then plus, and then the y squared minus 6y. And see that 5 there? I don't want them over here. I'm going to move them to the other side of the equation. And that way I can kind of just focus on these binomials right here. Now, what my goal here is to add something to each binomial to make it a perfect square trinomial. And that's completing the square, right? That's got to be, you got to take negative b over 2. You got to take b over 2 and square it. Sorry, it's not negative b. The negative wouldn't really matter because you're squaring it. B over 2 and squared. So half of b and squared. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So it's going to be x squared plus 4x plus 4. And then plus y squared minus 6y. A half of 6 is 3. Half of -6 is -3. When you square that, you get a positive 9. So what I did here was I added 4 and I added 9 on that side. So I needed to add 4 and 9 on the other side to keep this balanced. All right, what I've done here is I've created a perfect square trinomial, which can be written as x plus 2 squared. And this one is going to be y minus 3 squared. And then when I take -5 plus 4 plus 9. 4 plus 9 is 13. And then I take 5 away from that, and I get 8. And there it is. That is in center radius form right there. Done. Now from that, it's pretty easy to tell what the center and radius of the circle are. It didn't ask that, but you can just kind of go ahead and go above and beyond. There's the center, and then the radius is going to be equal to the square root of 8, which is 2 radical 2. Okay, or square root of 8, either one. Okay, it didn't say in simplest radical form. All right, next. All right, next. I'm going to erase this so I can do this work here. That's why I kind of recommended the separate paper for these problems. Given center and radius, right, in general form. Okay. Plug in the center radius form. Oh, plug in the center radius form and then convert to general form. Okay, so I didn't really need to erase that because really what I'm saying is if you know the center and radius and they want to know the general form of the equation of the circle, you're going to take x minus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared, and that's going to equal 4. Okay? And then what you're going to do is what we just did for this right here. Right? You're going to do the same kind of thing with this. You're going to have to FOIL it, x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus y squared minus 8y plus 16 equals 4. And then you got to combine all the like terms and move everything over here. X squared plus y squared minus 4x minus 8y. And then I've got 4 plus 16, which is 20, but then I subtract 4 again, and I get plus 16 equals 0. There we go. All right, find the equation given 2 points. Oh, given point and center, or given 2 points. All right, so we've got an example. We've got 2 examples here. All right, 2 examples for this one here. The first one is it goes through the point 3, 5, and it's centered at 2, 4. Well, if it goes through the point 3, 5, that's really an x and a y. It's on the circle. And then the center is h and k, always. All right, so x-rays help, right, plus young kids, and then recover. All right, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So 3 minus 2 squared plus 5 minus 4 squared equals r squared. So I'm doing all this work so I can find r, really. Right? And I could, I guess, theoretically use the distance formula between those 2 points and find r also. I just find this a little simpler. Okay? Either one, though, is a valid solution. Okay? So I'm going to get 1 squared plus 1 squared, which is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 is my r squared. And that's what I wanted to find. I'm just trying to find the equation. So I don't need to know what r is. I need to know what r squared is. So it's going to be x minus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared, and that equals 2. Because the things I need to write the equation of a circle in center radius form are the center and the radius. And you plug them in. There you go for h, k, and r. And r squared is 2, so I'm good with that. It's not going to be 4 there, all right, because that is already r squared. Diameter with endpoints 1, 3, and 4, 1. Now, if I know the endpoints of the diameter, this is an x and this is a y, and this is an x and this is a y. And it's kind of a deal breaker. If I don't know the center, I can't write the equation of the circle. But if I have endpoints of a diameter, I can use the midpoint formula, right? The midpoint is going to be, it's going to be the average of the x's, right? 1 plus 4 over 2, comma, 3 plus 1 over 2. So it's going to be the average of the x's and the average of the y's. So the center, h and k here, h and k is going to be 1 plus 4 is 5, so that's 5 halves. All right, 5 halves. And 3 plus 1 is 4. Divided by 2 is 2. 5 halves, comma 2. All right, so now I know my center, and I know a point on the circle. So I can then use the same procedure as I did last time. All right, so x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So I know x, and I can use either one that I want. All right, so I will use, I don't care, I use the 1, 3, doesn't matter. It will work for either one of those points. 1 minus 5 halves squared plus, and then for this one I need to do 3 minus, now since I used that 1, I have to use the 3. That's important, okay? And then this k, I'm going to use the 2. That's what k is, right? There you go. And then that equals r squared. So I'm doing this to find r squared. An alternate solution to this, again, just like before, is I could use the distance formula and find the distance between these 2 points right here, okay? If I find the distance between those 2 points, well, then I can do half of that, and that will give me my radius. So I need my center, my radius, and, okay, I can do it that way also. Again, it's just a matter of personal preference. My preference is to do it this way. Okay, if you like the distance formula, if you like memorizing stuff, that's great. You know, go ahead, memorize the distance formula and use it. 3 minus 2 is 1 squared equals r squared. All right, that's a 1. And then negative 3 halves squared is 9 fourths. Okay, and then 9/4 plus 4/4, which, because that's what 1 is equal to. 9/4 plus 4/4 is 13/4. That's my r squared. Okay, then I have my answer. X minus 5/2 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 13/4. That is my answer. There you go. There's some circle review for you. Okay? All right, I'll see you on Monday. Make sure you're working on your Regents at practice. Talk to you later. Bye.